The next part of the prophecy is called pressure points. Directly derived changes in the lives of human beings will affect them on all their pressure points. Men, women, and even children will act up to the point of being filmed, behaving badly on camera, or arrested, or even killed, or killing because of hot tempers flaring at all the wrong times. People will pull out weapons at the wrong times and places. Please listen. God says that we're going to see big hunting knives and archery equipment. This is bow and arrow being used to commit murder. The news headlines will be full of the murder of human beings because of the increased rage and inability to cope with stress that will be happening. And it will keep happening until it reaches fever pitch. It will even escalate beyond this point where we have individuals losing it and things like that. God said it will escalate beyond that point to full-on neighborhood wars, personal wars, family wars.
A manhunt has been launched for 26-year-old Kyle Clifford from Enfield after 3 women were killed at a property in Hertfordshire. Now, paramedics raced to the horror scene at a home in Bushey last night, but the 3 women, who were all related, succumbed to their injuries and were pronounced dead at the scene. Now, police have said Clifford may be in possession of a crossbow and have warned members of the public not to approach him.
So let me go back to the beginning. Pressure points. I have warned about this a lot, and I have said that if you are not a person who is actively working on your character, actively working on holding your tongue when people deliberately try to press your buttons. I'm not saying you can't give people a firm answer, but to get into a screaming match with people in Walmart until you end up on camera, this is a thing that God is calling the flaring up and also the breaking down of the pressure points. Everybody has a level that they think they can handle themselves at. And then beyond that are the levels where within a person, you've been living with yourself your whole life. God is saying that you may not actually know what you are capable of, and that if you leave too much leeway, too much room for people to aggravate and press your pressure points, you might literally end up being the 11 o'clock lead story of stabbing someone in Home Depot. Just pick up something off the shelf and go 3 times, and then you're doing life in prison or something, and you're a family man, you're a father, you had gone in there to get a hunting knife, you had a great weekend planned, and now you're going to go away for all the remaining weekends of your life for harming someone else simply because you snapped at the wrong moment.
Police were called to a property in Ashland Close just before 7 p.m. last night. Officers attended alongside colleagues from the East of England Ambulance Service and, on arrival, found 3 women with serious injuries. Sadly, despite their best efforts, the women, who are believed to be related, died a short time later at the scene. The victims are aged 25, 28 and 61. Our overarching objective today is to protect public safety and to locate Kyle Clifford, who is wanted in connection with the murder of the 3 women in what we believe is a targeted incident. We have extensive police resources deployed to various locations in North London and also the Bushey area of Hertfordshire. The manhunt also involves armed police officers and specialist search teams responding at pace in the wake of what has been an horrific incident, involving what is currently believed to be a crossbow, but other weapons may also have been used. If members of the public see Kyle Clifford, they urge not to approach him at any point and to dial 999 immediately. Kyle, if you're seeing or hearing this, please make contact with the police via 999.
And also I saw archery equipment, 2 types. I saw the Olympic mechanized archery, the kind of bow that is almost big and steel, and it's almost like a mechanical bow, and people usually use that for competition. And then I just saw the organic kind, the good quality kind that people can make themselves. American Indians make those, and I think other people make those. You can buy that for your child. It's made of wood, but it's quality wood, but it's not the fancy mechanized kind. I saw that people who own both types of bows committed murder using a very unorthodox tool, archery equipment, to commit the murder.
Victims of a deadly triple crossbow attack have been revealed as the family of BBC 5 Live racing commentator John Hunt. Carol Hunt and the couple's two daughters, Hannah and Louise, were found fatally injured at their home in Bushey last night. Police sources say the three women were tied up and shot in a targeted attack that might have involved other weapons. A large manhunt is still ongoing to find suspect Kyle Clifford, who's the ex-boyfriend of Louise Hunt, one of the victims.
Right behind me here in Hilly Fields in Enfield is where the police have been focusing the most of their search. For the last 5 or 6 hours, I was out here walking my dog around 7 o'clock this morning and saw the first glimpse of the helicopter. And since then, we've had a buzz of helicopters around us. There has been some social media footage floating around of them going into a house right next to Gordon Hill Station. But we've just spoken to an officer who has confirmed Kyle Clifford is still at large, has also confirmed via a press conference just recently he is carrying a crossbow. So local residents are being warned to stay inside. It is, of course, an escalating situation. We'll keep updating you as we find out more.
Doing this before he is finally killed by police snipers. He will be doing it on account of the fact that he is fed up with the way life is treating him. God says veterans are going back into combat mode in America and other places. Yah says these men are trained killers, highly trained and sensitive, but not always carrying the skills to acclimatize back to normal life. The stress is too much. The noise is too much in their heads. It will be a deadly cocktail where more than one person ends up dead. God says one way or another, the man becomes fed up with the way life is killing him and God is treating him. And God says that many veterans will snap back into combat mode. Do you know how dangerous it is to have people in combat mode when we are in NPC mode? Netflix and chill mode. Sleep late on Saturday mode. And then you wake up and the neighborhood is in the middle of, I don't know, 0 dark 30 with somebody who's gone back into that mode. And anyway, God says that the stress is too much for these men and the noise will become too much in their head. So if you are the wife of a military person, you ought to know this because it is well known that the first people military people harm when they snap is family.
A fugitive accused of murdering 3 people with a crossbow has been caught in a cemetery after a huge manhunt. Kyle Clifford, 26, was seen being bundled into the back of an ambulance in the Hilly Fields area of Enfield, North London, by armed police and paramedics on Wednesday afternoon before being taken to Royal London Hospital. Clifford became Britain's most wanted man after police said they were hunting the ex-soldier in connection with the murders of Carol Hunt, 61, and her 2 daughters Hannah, 28, and Louise, 25, who is the ex-girlfriend of the Clifford. The women, who are wife and daughters of BBC 5 Live racing commentator John Hunt, were found fatally injured inside their £800,000 detached home in Bushey, Hertfordshire, last night. Police sources said the women had been tied up before they were shot dead with a crossbow in a targeted attack that may have also included other weapons. Armed police and paramedics were filmed this afternoon running into Lavender Hill Cemetery in Enfield as the hunt continued for Clifford, a former soldier and security guard. Later, armed police closed down the cemetery, a 5-minute walk from the house linked to the suspect. Up to 4 black-clad officers, to carrying automatic rifles, stood guard at the cemetery gates, preventing members of the public from entering.
The Army and other special forces have bred, that means to raise up, killers. The Army and other special forces have bred killers, have used them, and then abandoned them with no way to make a living or truly integrate them back into daily life. Look for more military killings to be on the front headlines of the world.
I mean, I'm sure you can put 2 and 2.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much. Yeah. Not officially. Anything like that.
We're not going to confirm or deny.
The latest update in the ongoing manhunt for Kyle Clifford, the man suspected of a triple murder last night in Bushey, Hertfordshire, as the police have just confirmed to me that Kyle has indeed been found in the cemetery right next to Hilly Fields here in the Gordon Hill area of Enfield in North London. This all follows a 22-hour manhunt where Kyle is suspected to have killed Carol, Louise and Hannah Hunt. They are the wives and daughters of BBC racing commentator John Hunt. Police were seen removing Kyle Clifford's car just behind me a few hours ago, and there are unconfirmed reports that the crossbow in which is suspected to have been used in the attack was found in the car.
Now, paramedics now running quite fast actually through Hilly Fields along with police officers. They've just arrived. Let's follow them. Let's see how far they'll let us follow them. Of course, this is a sensitive operation, but two paramedics now accompanying police officers through a bush and into the cemetery. It appears we don't yet know exactly what they're responding to, but this could be linked, we understand, to the search for Kyle Clifford. We're just being stopped by a police officer from going into this gate, but paramedics now running into the cemetery with armed police officers.
And so that is it. Expect more military killings on the front headlines of the world. You are listening to the Master's Voice Prophecy blog. You have been told where to find the blog. The written blog itself can be found at www.the-masters-voice.com. Thank you for being with me, and until I see you again, goodbye.